Okay, here's a basic review of the functions that we've covered for the 9 weeks. Okay, let me set my pen to be a little thinner. There we go. So one thing you're going to have to do, you're going to have to evaluate equations, okay? So let's say you're given this equation here and you're evaluating for f of 4, okay? So f function of 4, that means that's f of x. That means the x is 4, okay? So if you know the x is 4, you would just go ahead and just substitute the x being 4 plus 8. And 4 times a is 16 plus a. Okay, so that means that will be 24. In this problem, if you happen to have f of x equals 14, okay, and this is the equation you must evaluate. So now you have to substitute the f of x with the 14. So you would simply write f of x is 14. So equals 2x plus 8. So we're looking at the f of x equals 14 is telling you what the function is, 14. So now we're just going to solve for x. So now you're going to go minus 8 on both sides, and you bring down 2x equals 6. Divide both sides by 2. X equals 3. That's if you're finding and given the f of x and it's told that it's 14. You'll also have to determine if you're given the domain. See, this is domain. To figure out what the range is. Okay, so you're given the domain to figure out what the range is using this in reference to this function, y equals. So if we know that the x is 1, so we'd have y equals x is 1, so 1 squared minus 9. Oh, my pen isn't writing real good. So this 1 squared is 1 minus 9 and give you a negative 8. So when you have x is 1, then you know the y is negative 8. I don't know why I wrote negative 9. So that means it's negative 8. All right. Now what if x is 0? So I would put, this is the x, okay? So I need an x squared now. The x is here in the problem. So now this would be 0 squared. You know that's 0 minus 9. So you see that y is going to be a negative 9. And what if you had a negative 1? So x squared is negative 1. So negative 1 squared, some of you all forget this. So negative 1 squared is going to give you a positive 1. If this was negative 2 squared, it's going to give you a positive 4. If it was negative 3 squared, it's going to give you a positive 9, and so on and so forth. So this is a positive 1 minus 9. Okay, so this is a positive 1 minus 9. It's going to still give you a negative 8. This is negative 8 here. So you see in essence the 1 squared here still going to give you a negative 8, and the negative 1 squared still going to give you a negative 8 for the y, because when you square something it makes it a positive. Does that make sense? Okay. Now we've talked about this so much, so I'm hoping y'all got this, okay? So you find the x and y intercept if you're given this equation. So we know when you find the x-intercept, y is 0, okay? Y-intercept, x is 0. So let's just look at it. So if this, find the x-intercept, y is 0. So if I make this 0, it's sort of like covering it up. So let's use this little cover up magic pen. Let me see, can I find that? Here we go. So I'm going to cover this up. Now we can easily see divide both sides by 2, so we know that x is going to be a negative 6, right? So when y is 0, see it came back like that. When y is 0, we know that x, oops, I don't want it to be like that. We messed it up, okay? When y is 0, x is negative 6. Okay, there we go. Did that. Okay, I'm gonna mess up my magic pen. Now we're gonna do it again with the magic pen. Where did it go? Oh, here we go. Pen types back again, magic pen. So now I'm going to make x 0. So when x is 0, the y, divide both sides by 4, that's negative 3. So when x is 0, I'm going to put it back on my regular pen now. When x is 0, y is negative 3. And I already said when y is 0, x is negative 6. That makes sense? All right. Okay. What if you wanted to find an x and y intercepts of this graph here? I know it's not really straight. No, I don't have numbers on it, but I'll just tell you this starts us at the 3. Okay? What is the y-intercept of this graph? Okay, you got it. It's none. It doesn't cross the y-axis. It's way over here. So it'll be none for the y-axis. Okay? What is the x-intercept? It crosses at 3, right? So what is it? Tell me real quick. You got it. It is 3, 0. That is the x-intercept where it crosses. Next thing you're going to have to know, is the relation a function? Is it a function? Okay. So how would you know that? We know it's by the vertical line test is one way. So if you have a graph like this, and say this is the graph, is this a function? Of course it is, because it passes the vertical line test that it is not going to cross a point at more than one point. Or you may have an ordered pairs. So you may have 1, 2, then you may have 1, 3 already. You know, is that a function? Before I keep going, is this a function? No, because 1 is paired with 2 and 1 is paired with 3. So it would not pass the vertical line test. So if I would go over 1 and up 2, and if I go over 1 and up 3, you see clearly it would not pass the vertical line test. So this one is a no. Okay? None. No. There you go. Now we've been going over this a lot. Okay, how to find the slope given, let me change the color here. Find the slope given points, graph, and equation. You're going to have to do that. Okay, so given points, find the slope. I don't know if I'm even going to work these. You have the samples in your review. But since I already wrote it down, I might as well. So you got 2 points. You're going to subtract 3 from 2 is 1. 0 from 1 is 1. So you know the slope is 1. That's when you find it, you got a point. Okay, so find the slope when you have a graph. This is not straight, but you have lots of samples. Let's say it's like this. Now let's say this is a negative 1. And let's say this is 2 right there. So have the graph, you go, what is the slope? Rise over run. So I would go up 1 and over 2. So you're going up a hill, so it's a positive 1 over 2. I know y'all got that. Then if you got the equation, you'd have y equals 3x plus 7. Now it's in y equals, you may have to switch it, but if you do, you know how to do that too. So what is the slope here? The slope is by the x, so the slope is 3. Now we did talk a little bit about inequalities. You basically solve that just like you do the equations, but you have to know when you're going to flip this thing. Remember, you're going to have to flip it sometime. And you only flip it when the variable is a negative. My little thing never stays thin. Okay, so now let's go ahead and solve. So if I'm going to move the 5 or the 2, it does not matter. So I'll just move the 5 over by adding its opposite on both sides of the inequality. So That leaves it alone. So 5a, hope y'all can read this. I'm going a little fast. It's less or equal to 10a plus what? 7, right. So now you have 10a and 5a, so we're going to move the 10a here. Oh, I don't like the way that changes every time. So this means this is a minus 10a. Now that eliminates, so you have a negative 5a is less than or equal to 7. Uh-oh, we may have a fraction, but that's okay. So, but we know it's a negative 5a, and I told you when this is negative, you have to change the direction of the sign, right? So I'm going to divide by the negative 5. I'm going to leave it thick so you can still see what's going on. So now that cancels, so you have a is greater than or equal to negative 7 over 5. Okay, when you're graphing inequalities, say, you have an open circle. Let's say I'm going to graph it here. What is that inequality? What is that saying? With the open circle, you got it. It's saying that x is less than 5. Not equal to 5, but x is less than 5 because it's an open circle. But say if I shade that in, and let's change it to a 3. And let's make it this way, greater than. And let's close that thing in. So that's stating that x is greater than 3, and because it's shaded, x is equal to 3, the little line underneath. So x is greater than or equal to 3. Okay, guys, this is the end of the review. I didn't go over any word problems. We'll talk about that in class and by going through the district assessment. But if you understand the concepts, you will do great. This is from Miss Scott. Okay, have a great day.